Speaker of the Missouri House. It was my great privilege and honor to be able to serve with a great governor and a very dear friend, Mel Carnahan. It was also a very, very important thing that we had a terrific team from Northeast Missouri of leaders that knew what it took to make this district the best it could be. I want to say to you today that during that time frame, it was an honor, and I am proud to be able to say that I sponsored bills that helped fundamental reading skills for our kids, that provided greater access to higher education, that reduced the taxes on Missourians by eliminating the sales tax on groceries and lowering the income taxes of middle-class Missourians. I sponsored the bill that created Missouri's sex offender registry and that created civil commitment for sex offenders in the state. And I also sponsored the legislation that, for the first time, put into effect the Do Not Call list in the state of Missouri. I was also proud to be a part of expanding health insurance access for kids. Health insurance that's been taken away in the last 4 years. Sadly, that's not the only thing that we have lost in the last 4 years. During the last few years, I have had a great honor and privilege to be able to serve with Commissioner Robert Clayton in standing up for average Missourians against special interests when the utility rates were in asking for outrageous hikes in our utility bills. Now, last year, it was my great privilege to be able to come here and speak to you about my concerns about the direction of this nation. That stress that we had on Americans 12 months ago has only gotten worse. You know, the president a few days ago was in a press conference. He was asked about the projections that gas prices were going to $4. He said he found it interesting. Well, let me have some news flash for you, Mr. President. When you took office, it was $1.46. It's going to be $4. My friends, it is time for a new day. When we allow the ranking of our education in this country to fall below those of other developed nations, it is time for a new day. When this administration has misled the American people to war, when it sends them overseas without the equipment that they need to protect themselves, when it fails to fully provide for the medical and psychological care that they need when they come home, it is time for a new day. When increasing our exports means sending American jobs overseas, it is time for a new day. When Washington steals money from the Social Security Trust Fund, it is time for a new day. When American workers and small business owners cannot find affordable health insurance when their own elected officials have it, it is time for a new day. When our foreign debt and dependence on imported energy obligates this country to overseas powers that are not our allies, when our dollar's value is on a downhill slide, and when we spend billions of dollars for infrastructure in the Middle East, while our own highways and schools are in need of repair, it is time for a new day. It is time for some good, old Missouri common sense in Washington, D.C. And I want to deliver it on your behalf. We live in the greatest nation.